Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the fourth event of the Supreme Series. This is the K8.com Classic. I'm joined this morning by Lee Kendall. Morning, Lee.
Good morning.
We had a great day of pool yesterday. We've got another great day lined up today. I was just having a quick look through. The games are already in progress in the 9 a.m. session. Many of them are already finished. The loser section is just littered with great players. Jack Whelan beat Lee Boggy this morning, 8-6. Rob Warren through. Paul Riley beat Cole Bedford 8-0. That was over in about 40 minutes, I think. Simon Fitzsimmons through. Carl Boys. And similarly to last time, absolutely littered with talent. Ben Flack in the loser's side. John McAllister in the loser's side. Craig Marsh.
Rob Chilton.
It's just amazing. Isn't it? Ben Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
That's the field, though. The field is the best field that's ever been assembled. You know, there's still a few players are away in China at the moment playing pool, but they'll all be back for the grand final, try and take the money. Yeah.
And the stream game coming up on the main arena next.
Well, we couldn't put any other match on other than Phil Harrison and Lee Clough. It's two great champions, aren't they? And, you know, for Phil to be in the loser side again after winning the last 2 events, there'll be some ask for him to come through and win it, but never say no with Phil.
I know, losing first round last time, everyone had pretty much written him off. I would imagine his odds with the bookies have gone way out. I think the bookie's probably going to be a bit more reserved today, isn't he?
Well, he had a terrible section last time. I can't remember all the players he played, but I know he had a real tough section. And
he had Appleton, Melling in amongst them.
And then he's got beat this time, first game, and he's gone back into a terrible section, the draw.
Yeah.
So there's probably 5 great players around him, starting off with Lee Clough. So it's going to be really hard for Phil to come through, I think.
The field already started to be narrowed. Have you seen anyone that you fancy for this one yet?
It's tough because it's hard to maintain it through the 3 days. I mean, Jordan Church is playing well. I think he could go deep.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Farnsworth hasn't quite pushed through to the final as you'd expect. He's made a semi. Tom Cousins only made a semi-final. But I'll go with Jordan because I think he could do well.
I think Jordan Church is a great shout. I mentioned the same thing yesterday. He looked much more comfortable yesterday than I'd seen him before. The other one, of course, who's probably underachieved so far, but still on the winner's side, Clint Jansen.
Yeah, he's had tough draws though. I mean, he hasn't played bad. I think he had Appleton in the first round of 1. I lost on the decider. He had Adam Davies beat him yesterday, another tough opponent. So he's having a tough draw. I mean, with random draws, you could cop for anybody, and he is getting a rough end at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. So just looking ahead now to the winner's side, we've got a few. It's throwing up some really big matchups. We're looking at the 4 p.m. session this afternoon. We've got Cousins against Jansen.
Like I said, Clint isn't getting the good draws, but you know he's in the winner's side, so you'd expect to play a top player.
Jordan Shepherd against Carl Sutton. There's a really good clash there.
Yeah, well, Sutton beat Craig Marsh in the last round, so he is in form. He won the last UK Pool Tour, so...
Jordan off the back of a win against Neil Raybone. So.
Yeah, so both players in form, should be a cracker.
And the other one, of course, we just mentioned Jordan Church. He's facing off against the first event winner, Scott Gillespie.
Yeah, I didn't realise that was a pair-up, so, I mean, Scott's playing really well at the moment, so that will be a cracking match.
Yeah. Okay, so... that's a preview of today's action. We're looking forward to a great day of pool. And as I mentioned, we're starting off with the Phil Harrison Lee Clough game. Just looking forward to it.
Yeah, 4 stream matches. Enjoy the pool today, and we'll get plenty of interviews with the players.
See you again very shortly.
break? 45 seconds, 10-second ball, and then one extension per frame. Time running.
Good morning and welcome to the action. This is day 2 of event 4 of the Supreme Pool Series, the K8.com Classic. And we're here for this losers round 2 match between Phil Harrison and Lee Clough. Couldn't really pick any other game in the draw than this one. Phil Harrison has won the last 2 events. Lee Clough, the Blackpool Tower. It's a great matchup. We settle in for a day of action. We're going to be live with some great pool from now till probably about midnight. So a good 13 hours for you to sit back and enjoy. Good early clearance from the tower. Seems to have quickly settled onto this table. We are streaming 4 matches. Apologies if I'm a little quiet, but as is always the case in these early morning starts, very quiet in the arena. Kind of builds up as the day goes on. A bit more of an atmosphere.
Great start from Lee. Break dish. Can do no more. This is a race to 8. Lots of other games in action at the moment. Over on table 11, Greg Batten has just started against Jed Mann. That's one of the other stream tables. Gavin Robinson is 5-2 up against Zach Shepard. Ryan Clark 4-2 against Mark Asbury. Chris Dave 4-3 against David McNamara. Zach Cooper 5-2 against James Humphrey Jenks. Jay Dewar 4-1 against Geoff Middleton. Phil Malam and Jamie Murray 3 each. Matt Lawrenson 4-1 up against Aaron Davis. And Ben Davis 2 each against Michael Smout. So I did say this was losers round 2 at the top of the show, but of course it's not, it's losers round 1. Both of these players pushed into the losers side yesterday. Phil Harrison beaten by Scott Gillespie, and Lee Clough lost a hill game against Gareth Hibbert late yesterday afternoon. A few losers round 2 matches just starting. Gareth Hibbert 2-1 up against Drew Hughes. Rich Toomey is on fire this morning. He seems to have done this a few times. I seem to recall saying this before. He's just comes. He seems to lose his first round match and then comes out of the blocks absolutely flying on a Saturday morning. Must be something he had for breakfast. He won his first game this morning 8-1 against Neil Wren. And he's 2-0 up against Phil Naylor. Also, what a game this is on the losers side. John McAllister against Jack Whelan. 3 frames each. Two of the more, I guess you could say, two of the more senior players in the field. They're certainly by no means getting on, as they say. Still very much middle-aged. I think Phil's 44. But they've been around for many, many years. Lee Clough was a regular winner on the tour before he took his little hiatus he had up until a couple of years ago. I'm sure these two have met on many occasions. Phil, just a machine. What about this for a standard? Break dish, followed by a break dish. Phil Harrison, the farmer, age 44 years, married to Louise. Got 2 children, George and Lucy, who I know he's very proud of. He doesn't know who made his cue. Bought it about 15 years ago for 75 quid, and he's won him a lot of money over the years. That cue, and that was a good investment. That's £75. He uses the Elkmaster 9mm tip. 2009 world champion, runner-up in 2011, 2017, and also, of course, 2018. He's won 17 UK tours. Just the 17, that's all. Won many pro events. 2 JFK Masters. He won the Savannah £500 a man in 2016. That was the Elite, where he beat Mark Farnsworth in the final. It was double elimination all the way to the final, and he went all the way through unbeaten, playing black ball rules. Won 12 Hearts tours, the China Grand Prix in 1999, played for England for 8 years. I mean, the list just goes on and on. 5 World Team Championships, 6 European Team Championships. Played on the IPT tour in Vegas and Reno. He started playing when he was 6 years old on a 4-foot table, and he absolutely loved it, fell in love with the game. His mum and dad bought him a 6-foot table when he was about 10, and he really enjoyed watching snooker. Steve Davis was his idol. Aged 11, his mum and dad took him to the local club, and he got on the pool table, and that's where he learnt how to play pool first. He played for the local team for many years. And it was in the family. His brother Courtney and his dad, both good sticks. His greatest influence are his parents. They are farmers. And Richard Ellis was the man who initially started taking him around the country, taking him to all the comps every week. He did that for about 10 years. And Phil says that he wouldn't have won half of what he did if it wasn't for Richard Ellis. When asked about his favourite players, he said there's just too many, but Mick Hill, Darren Appleton, Gareth Potts, Chris Melling, they all had something that Phil could sit and watch. And probably the best 4 to ever pick up a pool cue, in his opinion. And in the new generation, he likes Tom Cousins, Steve Petty, just loves their attacking style. He owns his own fishing lake. Really enjoys fishing and loves being able to take his son George, teaching him how to fish. We talked about his other talents in the game. And he used to play table tennis to a high standard. As previously mentioned, he loves his fishing. He used to play football whenever he wasn't playing pool, and just really enjoys sports in general. And of course, just enjoys his family. So that's a little bit about the man that's Phil Harrison. He's sat in the corner, drinking his cup of tea. His opponent is just a year older at 45. He's Lee Clough, the Tower. There he is, the Blackpool Tower. His wife Angela is sat watching on. There she is, supporting him. They have 3 children, Cameron, Keenan and Ryan. He uses a Tiger Q's Q with an 8.3 Elk Master tip. Lee was the 2012 Professional Masters Champion, 8 times IPA event winner, and 2007 World Championship semi-finalist. Started playing pool in 1988, just in the local league, and the Flyers in the local club. His favourite Q Sports player, he said it's a bit of a toss-up between Gareth Potts, Darren Appleton and Mick Hill. But he enjoys watching most of the top 10 or 15 pros. He started playing again, I think late 2016, I think it was, and had no real expectations. But after tasting a bit of success in some of the local events to him, he's found the hunger for it and wants to win another big one. He's got all the ability to. And interestingly, Lee has got a little bit of a reputation to be a slower player. Just more considered and methodical, I guess you would say. But he once won an event with a 30-second shot clock. So best players he's ever played against are old EPA rules, Ross McInnes, and in the modern game, either Gareth, Darren or Mick, which hardly surprisingly is exactly the same list as Phil gave. Asked about any other talents, he said he's an average snooker player, and he plays golf to a reasonable standard, around about a 14 handicap, which is, well, I'd say that was a really good standard. So there are your players. Phil off to the slightly better start and in charge of this game, but he's got that cover in over the bottom right, but I think Lee's going to be looking at working his way down the table, and he's going to take all three of those reds into the right-hand corner pocket. And we'll probably just work down them in order. Top, middle and bottom. I wouldn't actually expect him to leave these three balls at the bottom of the table till last. I think he'll try and get down on them now, just given where the black is. If anything goes wrong, he's still got these two balls at the top of the table to use as a bit of a backup plan. I think he would have preferred to be 4 or 5 inches just to the left. He's got a little more angle on this top one than ideal. He needs to hold. I think he's going to play this. Maybe just, I was going to say, maybe just try the skill shot at the same time to knock that yellow in. Not absolutely convinced he needs to do that. I think he just had the right angle, so he went for it. But I think if he'd have got a little bit straighter on that top red, he could have just screwed out for the one in the middle and then screwed out for the one at the bottom and then gone back up table. But this is why he took these early, because he's always going to have this plan B. There's 2 balls at the top of the table which he's got for his recovery. So he gets another chance. Yeah, just found its way to the pocket. Hits it at a good pace. I can tell you that Ben Davis is trailing Michael Smacked 4 frames to 3, but he is at the table on a clearance. This needs to be a good positional shot now. He's just slightly below. He needed to be slightly high. Had to go high. But that really had to be precise, because if he's too high, then he's equally got no shot. This is no gimme now. All he can do is screw back to virtually where he is now and leave himself a really thin cut. He's used his extension, and the referee is giving him the 5-second countdown. Alright, so it's going to be the skill shot. Well, he would have liked it to have been the skill shot. But with hand-put cueing, I mean, this is a difficult skill shot anyway. But with hand-put cueing, it makes it, wow, it's horrible. Greg Batten is currently losing to Jed Mann 3 frames to 2. Gav Robinson through against Zach Shepard. This is a tough shot. I'd say this is about a 5 out of 10 shot. If that. That really is a brilliant shot. And you can see Phil nodding his head in approval in the background. The level of difficulty cueing over the top of that ball, and given where the position of the 2 balls, the red and the yellow, that was no certainty whatsoever. As I say, 4 or 5 out of 10. the tower breaks off for number 5. And reds look particularly good. Yellows with their problems. So he's gonna pick reds here. The only thing he really needs to concern himself with the reds is a lot of traffic. There's 6 or 7 balls clustered together. And they're all kind of covering each other. The yellow that's, the red that's just below that line of 3 yellows, it doesn't go to the right corner because the red's in the way. It doesn't go to the left corner because the red's in the way. So he's going to have to take these in the right order. I think he's going to need to go down table now. I think he needs to pop this into middle bag and drop down on the 1 that's just to the left of the centre line. Leave the 2 balls at the top of the table till last. Again, if he runs out of position, that's his B plan. Just needs to finish a little low. That looks perfect. So you can see there he's just looking to literally drop the red in, run the white through about 1 inch to the right of where that red is. It's going to be a delicate little drop in. Now again, a lovely angle, but has to be precise with the root. He's going to screw it off the side rail in between those 2 yellows. And ideally he'd like to screw it just above where the blue spot would be. Any contact with the yellows will be a problem. Okay. He was actually just trying to stun up off the side rail and kiss into the yellow that's just below the middle bag, which would have left the red straight to right corner. But he's just caught the yellow on the way through. Can't get through to that red, but this is why we left the 2 balls at the top of the table. Because now we can take the alternative route. It's always leaving yourself those options. It's a really good vision of the game. A lot of players would have just said, right, I'm going to clear the top of the table and work my way down. But then as soon as you run out of position, you don't have this B game. And this is what we talk about when we talk about the kind of backup plan. This is where the top players are so clever. No dramas, just screw back a couple of inches, leave this long red. Just needs to cue this well. You can't, if he quits on it, he's probably going to stun him behind these 2 yellows. He needs to really screw into this, and he's going to then just cannon into those 2 yellows. Or he's got the option just to play through the ball, come off bottom rail, come back up into this open space. That was a better shot, actually. It takes any of the dangers away. Good stuff, this is. Good standard from both players so far. Is that 3 break dishes? At least 3. Yeah. Yeah, 3, yeah, Paul was just saying 3 break dishes and 1 reverse dish. Really high standard so far.
Frame number 6, Phil Harrison to break, trailing 3 frames to 2. Time running.
Another monster break from Phil. Paul's flying in every direction. You'd like to go reds. Probably the only opener he's got is this 3-ball plant to middle, which should be fairly simple. If there is such a thing as a simple 3-ball plant. Craig Batten 4-3 up against Jedman. Gav Robinson has beaten Zach Shepard. Ryan Clark's beaten Mark Asprey. David McNamara has beaten Chris Day. Zach Cooper has beaten James Humphrey-Jenks. Dylan Leary's on the hill versus Ross Smith. Jay Dewire's on the hill against Geoff Middleton. Jay Murray is 5-4 up against Phil Malam. Ben Davis 5-all against Michael Smout. Matt Lawrenson 6-3 against Aaron Davis. Drew Hughes 4-3 against Gareth Hibbert. Rich Toomey 5-1 against Phil Naylor. And John McAllister is beating Jack Whalen 6-4. Already through today, Carl Boys, Rich Wharton, James Taylor, Matt Schofield, Jimmy Croxton, Ian Alley, Gav Robinson. Gaz Royds had a forfeited match, as did Omar Manchid, as did Tony Halpin, as did Ryan Fleming and Stevie Dempsey. I saw, it was quite funny when I was walking in this morning. The first person I saw walking out of the club was Paul Riley, and he had a bit of a bounce in his step. Morning, Paul. Oh, morning, Nick. And the second person I saw was Cole Bedford, and he looked a bit more down in the dumps. And I didn't realise that they played each other, and Paul had beaten Cole Bedford 8-0. Red will go squeeze in below the black. And then just needs to leave an angle. That's perfect. Now he can just stun back across the face of the yellow. And wants to leave himself half ball cut on the red to send the white around the pack of yellows. Looks good. Got a couple of options here, but he'll be playing this with right hand side. It just takes any of the dangers away. You can just come around that little pack of 3 yellows. Back out into open play. No dramas whatsoever. Phil Harrison makes it 3 each. What a great match to bring you on this Saturday morning session. Just having a very quick look across at the Ryder Cup scores. And incredibly, Sergio Garcia and Rory McIlroy, who were 4 up with 5 to play, are now 1 up with 2 to play. USA on the charge. Europe in charge in the other 2 games, 3 up and 3 up respectively. Europe on the charge in the Molinari Fleetwood game against Tiger Woods and Patrick Reed. 3 in a row. And Ian Poulter, John Rahm are 1 down against Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. So things looking like they're going Europe's way this morning, but there's a heck of a fight back in that Sergio Garcia match. Cloughy calls an extension there before the referee even calls 10 seconds. boundaries of the shot clock. Often playing a shot when the referee's calling a couple of seconds, and so many players panic when they hear those last few seconds. But not Lee. Managed to keep his composure. Needs a good shot here. Cannon the yellow. Oh wow. That was he's had a result. It's not the best of results, but he's had a result all the same. Didn't mean to cannon the yellow, to flick it. The one that's to the left of the two, this end of the table, he just flicked on the way through, which meant he still flicked the yellow he was going for, but a lot thinner than he wanted to, which has left him above the red. So now, this really is going to have to be some shot. You're going to see him load this up with an absolute heap of left side to come around. 3 cushions. Plays the shot on 2 seconds yet again. That's not a bad effort, is it? I mean, if he just comes inside that black and misses the cannon, then he's about halfway up into the bulk area and this is nailed on, but you still fancy him to make the pot. It's just about, where does the black go? I think he's going to have to come up and down the table. He's going to have to be careful again because 45 seconds is over so quickly. So he's just looking to see whether he thinks he can drag it and hold it, but I don't think he can. 10 seconds has been called again by the referee, so he needs to play this quickly. The referee's called a time foul. He's been pushing the boundaries all the way through his shots, but he's arguing that because of the way the ref called. Feel almost looking at. It's just almost like he doesn't want to take it. And I have noticed with Viv, when she does a 5-second countdown, she's almost trying to be polite to the player. As he's on his backswing, she's trying not to say 5, 4, 3, 2, so she's not actually talking on his backswing. So sometimes she's like 5, 4, 3, and then almost waits just that tiny pause, just almost out of respect for the player, to let them play their backswing when she's not talking. But sometimes I can think that's what happened there, because there was a little extra gap between 2 and 1 when he was on his backswing, and that's why she scored 1 and foul straight away afterwards. But he has been pushing the boundaries on a few of his shots and been really, really close. He's played at least 3 shots when the referee's been on 2. But this was the difference between winning and losing this frame. This is a massive decision. Because it was, Phil was nailed on to make the clearance. Equally, Lee was pretty much nailed on to make the black. So this is a big swing in the context of the game. And Phil almost looked a little bit sort of apologetic when he got out of his chair, as if he didn't really want to win the frame that way. But there's nothing you can do. I mean, if you keep pushing the boundaries of the clock, then eventually it's going to get called on you. I think Lee feels a little bit hard done by there. He thinks he played the shot on one.
Phil Harrison to break, leading 4 frames to 3. Time running.
As I mentioned, that frame is just a huge swing in the game. Difference between Lee being 4-3 up and now if Phil makes his clearance, then that's him 5-3 ahead. Really could make the difference. There is a really simple little safety shot if Phil wants it. He can develop the red on the top cushion and just stun him behind the other red for the snooker. And I think he's spotted. I think he's going to play that. I think this is the right shot. He's asked for a total. Trying to look to see whether she can see past that red. I think there's a I'd say, looking at that close-up, there's a tiny gap there. Can play through. Don't think that's a total. Oh, I'm wrong. Referee instantly calls total. She just put the white on the table, and what she's doing is lining up that white with the very edge of the yellow. Almost playing through, rather than having an imaginary line there, you put a ball there and it makes the line easier to see. And that was quite a big decision, because if it wasn't a total, Lee couldn't have played the shot. He's just played that little containing safety shot. He's just overhit it slightly though. He's given Phil a chance at this one, down to the bottom of the table. And this is a shot you fancy him to make. And if he does, this could be frame. He's going to play this, screw the white ball on and off the side rail. So it's going to be a punchy shot. It's the kind of shot that Phil absolutely revels in. So now it's just about the cue ball control. This red is fairly buried in this corner pocket. So he's just going to play it thin, come back out through the gap. And this is perfect. Oli Bells just walked into the room and came over and gave the thumbs up, which I have to assume means that he's won his match. Actually, he's not in action yet. He's playing Ryan Fleming at 12:30. So he was coming over to tell me that he'd won, but just a bit of a good morning. Thumbs up. Greg Batten 6-4 up against Jed Mann. big break from Lee, and he just needs to put that out of his mind and just focus on his game. He's got the game to beat Phil. He now just needs to find it. The decision's gone. The frame's moved on. I have to say, I was thinking just literally a couple of shots before that time foul was called that there are a couple of players who push the limits of the clock. Lee being one of them, but as of yet, I've never seen a time foul called on any of these arena games. So that's a first, I think. And in all fairness, Viv Roscoe is one of the best refs around. She's made a couple of big calls. She called a push shot yesterday against Sam Bircher that was most definitely a push shot, but you so rarely see them called. And another big call there. And it takes a strong and brave person to be able to call these. Not quite the angle he wanted. I think he's finished dead straight. But I think he can just top it through. Just top through to get adjacent to the middle bag. So I'm just talking about the one, the red just below the yellow to the right of the table. May just have an angle that's just stunned past, but I don't think he needs to. I think he can just top straight through. Nice. I'm going to leave a longer red. In fact, I think he may, well, just depends. Personal choice is a little bit more angle than he'd want. I mean, he could just play it and leave himself a long red, leave the white somewhere in the bulk line. He can come in and out of bulk, put a touch of left side on it, or he could even, well, what am I saying? He can obviously get past his yellow. I didn't realise he could get past the yellow. I was thinking he had to play the one to the middle bag. But again, the camera angle does for me again. You should now just be able to drop this into middle, play it with drag, come off the top cushion, somewhere around about the brown spot would be absolutely perfect. Somewhere between brown spot and green spot, anywhere there really, and he's got a massive margin of error. It's good clearance, good break dish. Shows solid character. Clough pulls back within 1 frame, and it's 5 frames to 4. Gareth Hibbert's through against Drew Hughes. Richard Toomey's through against Phil Naylor, and Jack Whelan is through his second losers round game against John McAllister. So we bid farewell to John McAllister, and we'll see him in the grand final in a couple of months' time. He'll be back on the motorway on his way home. Jamie Murray beat Phil Malam. So Phil will be heading off home. Despite that big charge in the first match, in that Sergio Garcia Rory McIlroy game, they won the 17th and won 2-1. They also won 3-2 and 4-3. So Europe now 8-3 ahead with 1 match still in progress. And that's a big early lead and will be a shock to a lot of people. A lot of people fancied America this time around. Another big break from Phil. Asked for the rack to be removed, so the umpire will have to chalk the outside ball. You can see Lee just having a smile and a chat with his wife. Phil pacing. Just wants to get in amongst it. He's lurking ominously. I don't think you got anything like the zip that you wanted, and he looks utterly disgusted with himself. I think he expected that to zip off the side rail and finish somewhere down around the centre line, but it's finished probably 18 inches short. Just didn't zip off that side rail at all, and he's still in decent position. He can still make something happen here. But, as Phil does, looks, as I say, absolutely mortified that he's landed out of position. Called his extension. So I think he's going to drop this to centre, dead weight, run the white down to bottom of the table for one of these yellows in the middle. Oh, that's no good. Well, again, you can see absolutely mortified. Looks like somebody shot his nan. But he's actually in reasonable shape still. He's got this yellow to middle. He wasn't playing on the one to right middle, he was playing on the one to left. but again can still make something happen here. He can run on and off the top rail, come back down just to the left of the blue spot, and you can play the yellow mid-table. Again, he's run too far there. Want to finish about a foot shorter, and now he is in trouble. Just been getting further and further out of position during this frame. Just trying to see if he could go through the gap and play the yellow off the red, which is, I think, exactly what he's looking at.
5, 4, 3.
Yeah, the referee was counting down, so he needed to play that in a bit of a hurry, and it wasn't really on. This 45-second clock just catches up with you so quickly. Now this is a golden opportunity for Clough to draw back to all square. The two reds just above the cue ball, and both kind of covering each other. So he needs to think about how he's going to take them out quite early in this break. And that's why he's played a nice positional shot there. Now he can take the right one to right centre. And that's going to open the path for the other one. And with that one shot, I think he's pretty much cemented 5 each. It's a nice shot, well controlled, lovely pace. He's really playing well. When you look at Clough's face, he walks around the table and he's always got a kind of, it's always like a smirk on his face. It's almost like he knows something that you don't. It's that kind of look. Even there, he's almost like, just that kind of natural, just a bit of a smile. It's finished. With just the wrong angle here. Almost dead straight. Wouldn't be too bad if it was dead straight, because he could just screw back off the side rail, but it's just the wrong side. But, I think he can just take his medicine and may try and screw back and get closer to the black, but no need. Just leave this long black. I mean, he's dead straight, and you know, if you put this into context of snooker, this is basically a black off the spot. They're just never missing them. Good clearance, taking advantage of that unusual error from Phil. Phil not quite his clinical best. Don't think he's had a lot of chance to get on the practice table. Believe he has his own table at home, and I think he's been pretty busy recently, so not had a chance. So probably not got quite the touch that you would normally expect from him. And you've seen that manifest itself in a couple of frames now, where he's just been running out of position and not being able to get it back. And things all square at 5 each. Phil, he's just a fidgeter, isn't he? He's sat in the background and he's just like non-stop. Bit of fluff on the sock, pick it off. There you go. Oh, something on the hand now. He's just a fiddler and a fidgeter. Some players just sit there and look almost catatonic. Others, he's got that nervous energy about them. Found a ball in that middle bag with almost every break as Lee. Small, niggly little problems with either set. There is a yellow to top corner if he wants to take yellows. He's got the red along the bottom rail if he wants to take reds. Difficult to call. I think. Understandably taking his extension now when he tries to work out this route map. This isn't easy. It's going to take reds. That's really well cued. And now he's left an angle on this red to middle to just come down and stun into these two, the yellow and red touching each other just to the left. He can buy a little bit more angle because he can play this red off the yellow, push the yellow out away from the pocket as well, which he does. And that was a really well controlled shot because now he can play that red that he's just nudged to corner and play it with top and left hand side, and you can see he's looking at, well, actually he's got an option here. He can take the one to middle and screw down the rail, or he can play this one to corner with top and left hand side to come and kind of nudge it from behind off the rail. I think he'll probably take the one over middle. It's just a slightly more natural angle to stun down into the back of it. Beautifully played. What a wonderfully controlled break this is. That was lovely. Again, just slightly the wrong angle, but I think he'll take it. He can just screw back off the side rail. Maybe the yellow's just in the way. Again, needs to be mindful of the clock. Always ticking away. Those 45 seconds don't last long. Again, really well played. Just had to dig into it. He was worried about running into the yellow, but just ran across the face of it. This really is cue ball control at its absolute best. Stunning from Lee Clough so far. What great character he's showing here. I don't think it's possible to execute a frame of pool any better than that. He's come to the table with at least 2 or 3 reds tied up and worked out the plan to get them out. And that really was a stunning frame of pool. If you want to watch how to execute the perfect frame of pool, then just replay that frame and watch it again. That was brilliant. Absolute pinpoint accuracy with the cue ball when he wanted to knock a ball out. Perfection.
Frame number 12, Phil Harrison to break, trailing 6 frames to 5. Time running.
So how can Phil respond to that? Well, the answer is he can't. That's a dry break, and that is a huge break from Phil. I mean, the balls can't have split any better. There's at least 3 balls that threaten the pockets. Nothing down. And the reds are just wide open. He's got an opener. He's cut to middle. And I think almost every single frame Lee's used his extension to work out his pattern. But it does put the pressure on him if he runs out of position slightly later in the frame. It puts the pressure firmly back on him. Well, he's kissed that red on the way through, but only a glancing blow, and he's pretty much in A1 here. Needs this frame to get himself on the hill. So this is the key shot. Key to the frame. Precarious little cut back into middle. But if he makes it, This is the frame. Looks easier than it is on camera. These are tricky. Easy to push them to the near knuckle. Push it to the far knuckle. And he drops his head. He knows how important that shot was. And look at the reds. If he gets that, he knows it's frame. And he knows he's on the hill. That's a massive shot. Well, that's not ideal. Going to now push this yellow to side rail. Luckily for him, I think he's left a natural angle on the one to middle where he can nudge that straight back out again. So maybe to get it straight back out. Ten seconds called. And Phil uses his extension. Good shot. Now, pretty sure this yellow passes through the gap between red and yellow to the left corner, and he can just drop down on the difficult one along the bottom rail. Now, this presents itself as a really good chance.
10 seconds.
Well, again, that's just careless from Phil, and you can tell that his touch is just evading him at the moment. In between the proverbial devil in the deep blue sea here, Hamper queuing the one along the rail, and not a gimme to get on the next ball. He played that really well. That's he made that look a lot easier than it was. And Clough is going to be made to pay the price for that misread. Again, Phil looking absolutely disgusted with himself. But he's absolutely fine. Okay, he's a little bit straighter than he needs to be, but he can power this round off 2 rails. Side rail, top rail, back across the table. I mean, that's just a super positional shot. I think, I mean, he's got options. He could come 2 rails to leave black to centre, but there's a lot of traffic that way, I think. Well, it looks like that is the way he's going to go. Just taking the danger out of it and screwing straight back. Clever shot. the massive swing between 7-5 and 6-all. It goes without saying, really. He knows that he should be on the hill. Frame 13, Clough. Now it's Lee's turn to go try. Paying the ultimate penalty for that missed ball in the last frame. Such a cruel game. Really is. Yellows just look fabulous here. I mean, one ball tied up on the rail, but not a difficult double. And Phil asking the ref to remove the rack. Gives him an extra few seconds to this is often the most difficult racks to, when you've got two balls almost touching, really difficult to remove because it's hard to know where to put the chalk. Ref immediately calls 10 seconds, which is followed by the request for the extension. Wow. That could have gone really wrong. As it is, he's been a bit fortunate. He's okay. He's got the red 2 top corner, but that really could have gone horribly wrong. It's not gone quite right. But again, Phil doing the clever thing and leaving this red over top corner, so he's got a bit of a get out of jail if something does go wrong. Oh no. Played the cut. And a little kiss sends the whiting off. And the way this game is swinging is quite incredible. So how does Lee use his free visit here? I think seems like a fairly straightforward clearance. He's got this one difficult ball down the rail, which you would think he would be moving now. Again, likes to take his time over this initial, let's call it the planning phase, working out his route. Deciding to take the red off the table, actually, that's probably quite a good move. Opens the pocket up for the black. And I wonder if he can play this in such a way he's going to move the red and come back across table and get the yellow out in the same shot. May decide he doesn't need to. Well, in fact, he's not going to play that shot, I don't think. No, he's just going to stun down table. He's got several balls that he can either... He can move that if he wishes to, but he can equally drop on it. And the important ball was the one that's adjacent to the red, because obviously it doesn't go to right middle, so that needed some care and consideration, and he's come down and landed pretty much perfectly on that ball now. So, be very surprised if he doesn't take that next. So this is a yellow. Well, he's not going to, which, as I say, that really surprises me, because I see that as one of the key balls. It doesn't go to top right, it doesn't go into right middle, so, and he was on it at the top corner, right there. Now he's got to get back on it. Shouldn't be a problem. But just, you know, we're looking at potential banana skins. This needs a lot of care now. He still has to land on the ball up the rail, and he's run out of options to land on that, and he still needs to get position on the yellow next to the red. I would have felt a lot more comfortable taking that as my second shot, having that ball off the table. Could play the one up the rail now, and he's going to. So these next two balls could be his next two problem balls. Run this one up the rail. Just gradually running out of position now, isn't he? He can recover it all with one good shot, but this needs to be controlled well. Needs a soft screw on and off the side rail. Just got the wrong angle, and this ball that we called early doors as being the problem now is becoming a bit of an issue. He's taking no time. I think he's just gonna just straight, too straight. I think he's just got to take his medicine and top it through 9 inches and take the long yellow to top corner. But he was on this ball so much better earlier on in the break. May force it round, and he does. Oh, that's a great shot. You see Phil in the background tapping his knee. That really was well played, and that makes this shot so much easier. And again, this is a really impressive clearance. Just kind of ran out of position a couple of times, but he knew which way he was going to go about it, and he stuck to his guns. And again, really, really impressive stuff from Clough. I've not seen him play this well in a long time. He's now on the hill. Phil Harrison needs 2. Just stepped away for a quick bathroom break, but quick as a flash, he is back in plenty of time. And this is a big break now coming up. Huge break for Phil. This break could be the difference between the next round and in the car on the motorway and an early bath. Here we go. So consistent with that break, isn't he? So rarely ever threatens any pocket with the cue ball. Almost always just kills it to the side rail. Well, reds look okay here, but that one red at the top, sandwiched between the 4 yellows. And that will probably mean that we'll see Phil go for yellows here, because it's going to be a lot easier to break open those balls from yellows than it will from reds. I think we'll see Phil try and attack that early doors. What a great effort that is. Just trying to move these balls while he's got that safety net of the red being there, doesn't want to break them open. And he could have quite simply dropped that in, played the yellow over the pocket and smashed it all open. But the problem then, if a couple of the yellows go safe, well, it's too late. He's already broken open the yellows. So really clever stuff here again from Phil Harrison. And just playing a little containing shot to cover the bag. Showing why, showing an absolute bundle of experience and why he's been at the top of the game for so many years. I think a more attacking, aggressive player, maybe somebody like Seb Webb would have smashed into the yellow and sent that little cluster of yellows flying. Always looking at ways to attack the game. But Phil just taking a slightly more conservative approach. It does mean that it brings Lee to the table, but he's just not left anything, has he? Good effort. Doesn't really help him. It's covered the path to the black, but the black will put off the back of that red. So, good chance here now for Phil Harrison. Just a moment of panic there from Phil. The referee was calling down, was on 3 seconds. And he said, extension. And then said, I've got an extension, haven't I? To which Viv nodded her head. If she'd have said no, well, we'd all been a bit late. Just feels that Phil's been chasing the game so far today. Thought he would have gone for the out there. He obviously feels that he doesn't need to. He's got time on his side. As long as that red's tied up between the yellows, he's got time on his side to do whatever he pleases.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Clever shot. Very clever shot from Lee. Pushing the boundaries with the time again. Played that shot on 1 second. Will not be rushed. Doesn't want that to drop. No, that's no good. Just wanted to cover the bag. And just going to come off the back cushion now and knock his yellow back out into open play. Lee is comes from initially a world rules background, plays much more black ball now, but he's got a good tactical brain. Be interesting to see what he works out. just running out of ideas a little bit. Just knew he had to play a shot. Referee was on 3 seconds. And just doesn't have the time to be able to work out what he can do here. He's in trouble in this frame. No. Had to try something audacious. Try and knock that yellow out. But he's been unfortunate. Just screwed into the gap between the two yellows. Any kind of contact on the yellow would have pushed the red across. But now this is a real problem. Difficult to see what he does from here. Referee's counted 10 seconds again. It just goes so quickly. And again with the pressure of the clock, he's just pushed that one wide. Referee getting put through her paces here. She's having to count the shot clock down on every shot. With where that red's gone on the side rail, I know that Lee wasn't trying to put it there. The one over the left-hand corner bag, it has bought him just a tiny bit of time. I know he hasn't tried to put it there, but seconds called again. She's having to count down every single shot. That's a clever shot. Needed another red at the top of the table. Now he can do something to get a bit more cover in over that left-hand bag. This is tough here for Viv. She's having to keep her eye on the play, count the shot clock on just about every shot. Seconds called again before he's down on the shot. I'm almost feel nervous myself watching this. That's a clever shot. And now, with that one shot, Phil can go game here. He's going to open everything up with this one shot. Yellow along top rail, pot it off the back of the yellow to bring the other one out, and he's going to screw into the other red to open up this this pocket as well. Oh, he's missed the pot. Now, he's not left Lee a path through to that red, but he's left him a path to the one over the middle, so he can pop the one over the middle, and then he could try and go the aggressive route and open everything up, or he could continue with the tactical option and get some cover in over that left-hand pocket. But Phil, in missing that shot, has just given Lee a bit of a glimmer of hope here. That's okay. So I think from here, I think had he have got somewhere up around the bulk line, he could have probably tried to play the yellow, the red off the yellow, and then screw across to play a skill shot or get the other red out. But from here, he's got no angle to do that. So I think he's just going to have to try and lay that red in there somewhere, get some cover in. This is a key shot now in this frame. Yeah, nice. Well, is it actually? No, it's not. It's not. Wow. It kind of is. The reason I say it, I mean, Phil can pop this off the back of the red, but with the yellow sandwiched between the two reds, it's going to be difficult to get it out. Even if he plays it with pace, it's going to be difficult. He's relying on luck for that yellow to come out and be potable. So he's looking to, he's gonna hit this hard. Play it off the back of the red, and he needs to open everything up, and that's no good. I think you need to play it harder than that. You need to play it with a lot more pace, just to try and release those two reds and leave the yellow there. And that's not hard enough. And now Phil has gone from a position of ascendancy and controlling this frame, and he's in a spot of bother now. Again, he needs to watch his clock. The referee calls 10 seconds, and he's nowhere near his shot.
5, 4, 3.
Again, rushed and played it with pace to try and open everything up. And again, that's no good. So what does he do here? I don't know. I don't think he can attack from here, can he? Can he get into this yellow enough to try and screw back into the cluster? He has to try and go an aggressive route here, because if he just bumps this over the pocket, he opens up the whole frame for. Oh, what a shot that is. Ripple of applause from around the audience. That really was a brilliant shot. Under so much pressure. I really didn't think that he had an angle to be able to get back across there, and that is just sublime. Oh, that's one of the shots of the match so far, and there have been some great ones. There's drama right to the end. Phil again looking annoyed with himself. This would have been a gimme. I think it is anyway. I think Phil gets this all day and twice on Sundays. Well, 7 frames all. That really was a brilliant frame. And Lee he would have felt he had a sniff when those 2 balls tied up on the left-hand rail, but Phil shuts the door. That was brilliant. So Lee has quickly dived off for a bathroom break, and just to compose himself, and probably rightly so. He has the break in the deciding frame, 7 frames each. Well, Paul just doesn't get any better than this for me. This has been a brilliant match to watch. It's had everything. It's had controversy. It's had moments of brilliance, a few mistakes, breaking dishes. It's been played to the highest standard, and you can see the crowd starting to gather, and the crowd also starting to gather watching on YouTube. Please do subscribe to our page. Please do share this. You'll see an option to share to Facebook. We would love if you could do that for us. Share it wherever you want, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you fancy. Just get it out there, and let people see this brilliant conclusion to this game. Well, Lee takes a drink. How's he going to be feeling? This is the last game to be played in the losers round 1. Other games going on around the arena as we speak. Oh, Oli Bell didn't last too long against Ryan Fleming. He lost 8-0. What a time to go dry. What a time to go dry for Lee. Oh. All he can do now is sit and watch. And we look at the table, and we can see immediately there's a few problems. There's a red tied up adjacent to the left pocket. There's another red tied up on the side rail. Yellows have similar issues. He could cut this. He could cut this this yellow that we're seeing in the middle of our shot now into bottom corner and break open the 2 on the side rail. So he can also do the same thing with reds. See, again, annoyed with himself. He's not got into that at all. It's made contact with the yellow, but trying to knock it onto the red. You fancy there's going to be some twists and turns left in this match yet. Scores coming thick and fast. Carl Boys is through his second round losers match against Andy Barber. 8-4. Craig Marsh 5-3 up against Stevie Dempsey. Neil Raybone 4-3 up against Simon Fitzsimmons. There's going to be losers side all the way through until 4 p.m. when we play winners round 2. Big shot. Still no good. I mean, it's better than it was because now he can play a double on it, and I think the red in the gap of those 2 yellows goes to top corner. It does. He'll definitely be playing that shot next. I think he's forced to continue to attack from here. He's going to have to leave a double on that red on the side rail. Well, he's going long, he's going top of table. Looks like he's going to be, he's going to go into defensive mode. We knew there'd be another twist in the tail. Yellows just look horrible at the moment. And somehow Lee needs to wrestle some of the control in this frame because it's all about Phil at the moment. Countdown happening again. Oh my goodness. He just leaves it to the last second. 1 second left on the clock. I'm holding my breath every time he does it. There's some great matches still to come in losers round 2. Already down to 5 seconds. Phil needs to be careful here. Well, key to the frame coming up right here. Make or break, win or lose. Red to middle, white off the bottom rail. Into the back of the yellows, develop the red. Here it comes. He's missed it. He's missed it. That was some miss as well. That was a big target. Maybe the white ball didn't quite react how he expected it to off the bottom cushion. Maybe it didn't quite take the side. He's just going to be rolling on top of the red. Just nudges that out into open play. He's taking his chances. He's laying the gauntlet down. And Lee taps the table. And says, good shot, sir. And that really was a case of, I'm going to bring my ball into open play. And if you can clear from here, hats off to you, sir. Because you deserve it. Lee needs to make a decision. And make it quickly. 10 seconds is coming. And he's caught an extension. aggressive shot coming here. There's nowhere really safe on the table. I think he has to play this little tricky plant to top left to get the yellow in behind the red. Well, he's going to glance off the face of this yellow. Maybe he can leave it in bulk and leave it safe. That's a great shot. That really is. What a couple of frames these have been. I mean, it's great to see a couple of tactical frames. Fascinating to watch. You can see the crowd, Gareth Hibbert there, watching on. Adam Penwell with a keen interest. People would have probably had this in their betting slips. You can see all craning their necks for a good vantage point. So he's taken the yellow. He can play this next yellow and screw into the one on the side rail to develop. And if this comes out, he's got half a chance. Yes. Yes, yes. Now then. Who fancies this finish? Hands up. Not me, that's for sure. Wow. Carving this finish from nowhere. So, even this just looks hard, doesn't it? It just looks difficult. I mean, somehow he needs to get clever there. Just asking for the ball to be cleaned. Give himself an extra few seconds to compose himself. I mean, it looks like he's almost looks like he's got to power it off the top rail. Has he got just the wrong angle, or can he stun across? Looks like he's just off the wrong way. No, he's okay. He can just top it through. Thought he had just the wrong angle. Oh wow. This is A huge shot. It's not even an easy pot, let alone screwing back up table to get on the black. What a shot. What a shot. And what a finish this is from Clough. This black along the top rail. Wow. I can honestly say that is one of the highest quality games I have ever watched. That game had absolutely everything. Just brilliant. Well done to Lee. And Phil, well, he can take a lot of pride from this series already, can't he? He'll be on his way back home, and he'll be taking the journey down the motorway, and we bid farewell until the next event, the grand final. So Phil won't be making it 3 in a row. It's Clough who proceeds through on the loser's side. As I say, I need to take a bit of a breath because that game had absolutely everything. What an awesome clearance from Lee at the end there as well. We're going to catch up with Lee in the interview room in just a few minutes with myself and Lee Kendall. So do stick around for that interview. It'd be really interesting to see, to get his views on that match. Brilliant stuff. As I say, I'm going to catch my breath. Speak to you soon.
Well, Lee, congratulations. You took out the Mans as won the last 2 events. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Very, it goes without saying, incredibly tough match. So, over the moon to beat Phil, yeah.
And you've had a terrible draw, haven't you, really? The section that you've come in from the winner's side.
Yeah.
You had Hibbert, then you've
I've
gone
had
into
a
loser's
stinker,
side,
yeah.
and like you say, it's a stinker. The section you've dropped back into as well.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier, and you've got to take one game at a time, obviously, but I think it would be maybe Davis or Dunster soon if I keep winning as well, so it's
Doesn't get
disgusting.
And Nicholas, your thoughts on that match?
That was one of the most incredible games I've seen. I mean,
Really?
well, I just think it had everything. It had the drama. You had the clock called on you earlier, obviously,
Yeah.
the time foul, and that's cost you the frame. And then you've come straight back, and I think you broke dish the next chance you've had, because Phil's broke dish the next frame. You've come in and broke dished again, and then a couple of frames kind of went a little bit tactical. There was actually, I noted down, frame 11, I thought was brilliant from you. You came to the table, and the Reds were just a bit awkward. You had 2 or 3 tied up, and every developing shot you played came out perfectly. And I think I described it as one of the most clinical frames I've ever seen. It was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. I think, I'm not sure if, because obviously it's all a blur, was the first red down the bottom cushion?
Yeah, there were kind of balls just tied up on.
Frame it
there
was.
were balls just tied up on
They
the
were all
side
kind
rail.
of
Yeah,
blocking
exactly.
each other. Yeah,
and you played
yeah.
a couple of little sort of.
I think I
everything
potted a
just
ball
came
down
out.
the bottom rail
Yeah.
first, and I've just played for an area, and it's perfect. I can pot one in the middle just to nudge one a bit, and then pot the other one in the middle to screw down and nudge that one
Nudge the
out,
other one,
and then
yeah.
I just had a nice little angle to pot,
Yeah.
to get on the last
Yeah.
3. Okay, so yeah.
And to be honest, I kind of thought it was all over. Phil, that penultimate frame, Phil was all over you in that frame, and you came back at him. He played a bit of a poor shot trying to develop, and when he's left the yellow between the Reds, I thought, he can't get it from here. He's played an amazing developing shot.
He's played a ridiculous shot there, yeah.
Just incredible to
I
go
thought
7
he
each.
was fortunate to have that angle there when he got the 2 balls over the pocket. He screwed back to get absolutely plumb. He's played the great shot to break it out.
He's still a great, because the white and the object ball are so close.
Yeah.
That it's
He's
so
played a
difficult to
fantastic shot.
play.
It's
Yeah.
nice to have the opportunity, because any other angle, you can't get into it.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but he can only deal with what's there, and once he's there, he still had a unbelievably difficult shot.
Yeah.
To stay in the match. That's what I was thinking. If this goes wrong, I've got a great chance.
And again, he was in control of that frame, but you've pulled out an incredible clearance there. I think that's just another brilliant clearance from you. You had tough balls all the way through it, and you had to be perfect.
Yeah, well, I don't want to big leap too much, but when the Clough's as nice as that, the balls down the rail don't look as daunting, if you know what I mean. If you cue them well, exactly. Yeah, you don't even need to hit the white hard. Obviously the grip stays on the white, so you can. I don't hit the ball hard anyway, so I don't like it when the Clough's heavy and slow. So as soon as he played that shot, I came round thinking, well, I think I've got the yellow in the middle now, but I'll have a look after. And then I thought, well, if I do pot it, I've got the angle to kick the other one out, then I've got, as long as that don't block the other one in the middle of the table, which I was worried about, thinking I might have a chance.
And you must have been confident even to leave that last yellow, because I mean it's a half ball shot. You've got to screw back the length of the table.
I wouldn't use the word confident, but no, I can be a bit negative, and I see problems too much, and I was just worried about tweaking it, to be honest. Because I was even queuing over his red a little bit. I couldn't get my arm down on the table properly, if you know what I mean.
You just have to trust your cue, and you pick your line, and you just trust yourself. It's repetition, and
Yeah, just try and keep still when you hit it and give it a chance. And
for me, one of the best matches I've ever commentated on. I really enjoyed it. It had absolutely everything, drama all the way through it, and I think you played fantastically.
Thanks, Nick. I felt like I played quite well. Yeah, I don't think I did too much wrong. I feel like there was a couple of finishes where I've had little flicks where I maybe needed a little bit of luck. I was awkward positioning, and it's kept coming out okay. But I don't think I missed many pots.
Unfortunately, the one part of the match where the time foul was called was the controversial 7th frame. didn't lose you the match, so you must be relieved that that's...
I am.
What was your take on what happened?
Well, my take on what happened is when Viv's calling the 5-4-3, obviously you expect them numbers to be evenly spaced. And I felt that even though maybe I had run out of time on a stopwatch, but the count from 1 to foul was like that. It was. I felt like I was striking the white as she was calling 1, but then as soon as I hit the white, she's called foul. So it was. Do you understand what I mean? It was like,
I've watched the video back.
1 second between 2 and 1, and about a third of a second between 1 and foul.
I think you're absolutely bang on. It was pointing out to me that something happened, so obviously I'm going to review what happened. I think she called it straight after she said 1, which doesn't give your brain time to go the section and apart.
Do you know,
referees are only human, though. That's what you have to remember.
Do you know what I think it is? And I've noticed it a little bit with Viv over the weekend. It's absolutely no blame to her. I think that she's actually trying to do the right thing. She kind of counts 5-4-3-2, and if the player's in the backswing, she's a little bit hesitant to want to say 1 because she don't want to be talking while you're playing the shot.
I'm not sure on that one. I think she'd be obliged to carry it on. I think what Lee said is she's got to be like rigid with how she calls it.
And I think
so you can pace it
from then on she very much was.
And that's the idea of why we do it. So you were aware and it stops time fouls.
Well, that was kind of the method in my mind because I had a really bad angle on my last ball. I wasn't sure whether I could sort of like soft screw it and hold for the black, and I think she was already counting 5 when I got down to the shot again, so I didn't want to rush it and miss the pot. It wasn't a gimme pot, it was a thin cut, and I kind of knew it was in my mind 2-1, and I was happy hitting the ball on 1, but
you had the heart in my mouth a number of times in there because you've hit the ball on 1 on about 4 or 5 different shots, and I'm just.
But it is hard out there, isn't it? Because you're not often in that environment in the arena. New Clough, just a match setup, and then you're on a 45-second shot clock. So I mean, Lee is not the slowest, but not the fastest either. So you use most of that time, don't you? So I would do the same.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So it is. It's hard to get it bang on.
If they're all mapped out, I'll probably never hear the 10 seconds, but when you land bad or you've, like the tactical frames there...
You put her through her paces, because, both players, she was down to 2 seconds on every single...
It's
but you have to, because you need to think about what you're doing.
Of course, it's 35 seconds, basically, is all you've got until she says 10. Yeah. So that is, when it's tactical or you're in a bit of trouble, that is just not
That's why you do get the extension, though, but
yes,
if you have a frame where it's 2 or 3 times,
it's amazing how many times you use that after the break. If the layout isn't too straightforward, she says 10 and you're still not sure, so you use it and then you regret it at the end of the frame sometimes.
Well, like I said, fortunately it didn't have a bearing on the result, and you're through to the next round. And
delighted.
Like you say, you're in a tough section, the draw, but best of luck. I'm sure you're more than capable of coming through it again.
Well, I hope so.
Okay, well, Nick?
Yeah, awesome. Well done, Lee.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I did have a quick look. I'm not sure who's next on stream. I don't think it was actually decided, because I looked down through the list.
Yeah, because we do have to wait for the sections to finish, and then we try and put the best matchups on. I think it might be Ian Ali against Adam Davis. That's
great
the one
game.
that we're going to go for.
So that's going to be the next game on the stream. As always, there's going to be 4 tables streamed, and we'll see you very shortly. Thanks for now.